Hello everyone. Thank you for joining today's video. In this busy life, we often forget the most important thing, self-love. We take care of our work, family, and friends, but we neglect to spend time loving ourselves. Today, we will explore one of the most profound and essential lessons in the teachings of the Buddha, self-love. The Buddha always taught that in order to love and help others, we must start with ourselves. Self-love is not just an emotion, it is compassion, patience, and self-acceptance. This love forms the foundation for true peace and happiness because when we love ourselves, everything around us becomes brighter. But there is something very important: we cannot wait indefinitely to start loving ourselves. Don't wait until it's too late, when you feel exhausted or lost, to realize that self-love is the key to regenerating strength and finding happiness. Consider this: everyone deserves love, respect, and compassion. And this begins with you. Are you ready to change, to give yourself the love and care that you truly deserve? Don't wait until tomorrow, start today. Let love and compassion spread in your heart, so you not only feel happier but also help others find that peace as well. 1. Self-love according to Buddhist teachings. Self-love is a profound and essential theme in life. It not only helps us develop in a healthy and holistic way but also serves as the basis for building good relationships with others. However, many misunderstand self-love, thinking it is arrogance or selfishness. According to the teachings of the Buddha, self-love is compassion, kindness, and self-acceptance with all our flaws and strengths. Self-love is not arrogance. In modern society, the concept of self-love is often misunderstood as arrogance or self-importance. This form of self-love serves only personal selfishness and greed. However, in Buddhist teachings, self-love is not about affirming the ego or making oneself more important than others. The Buddha teaches that self-love is self-awareness and a deep understanding of the impermanent nature of life. When we recognize the nature of existence, we understand that everything, including ourselves, changes and nothing is eternal. True love is not about nurturing a big ego or doing everything for personal gain. Instead, it is about understanding and valuing ourselves as part of the vast universe, free from judgment or comparison. The Buddha encourages us to act with humility, not pride, while still cherishing and respecting ourselves for our inherent value. Self-love is compassion. One of the most important principles in the Buddha's teachings is compassion. Compassion is not only love for others but also love and acceptance for oneself. Self-love begins with compassion towards oneself. While compassion for others is about sharing and empathizing with their pain, self-compassion is the ability to forgive oneself, accepting our weaknesses and mistakes without judgment or self-blame. The Buddha teaches that everyone experiences suffering and sorrow, and we cannot escape this reality. Self-love, or self-compassion, helps us acknowledge our pain without letting it dominate our lives. Love is the ability to embrace our inner wounds, allowing ourselves to heal and not live in regret or self-blame. We need to recognize that, just as we do for others, we also deserve forgiveness, patience, and kindness. Self-love is patience and acceptance. The Buddha taught that in life, we cannot avoid difficulties and challenges. Negative emotions such as anger, sadness, and disappointment are inevitable, and they are elements we need to learn to confront and transform. Self-love is the ability to accept and face our negative emotions without avoiding or denying them. Practicing patience with ourselves is an important part of nurturing self-love. Do not expect to always be perfect, to never make mistakes, or to never feel like a failure. The Buddha taught that we are imperfect beings, and accepting our imperfections is the path to achieving freedom and peace. Fully and completely accepting ourselves, both our weaknesses and strengths, helps us reduce stress and anxiety while bringing us closer to inner peace. Self-love is respecting oneself. Respecting oneself is a crucial factor in self-love. The Buddha taught that self-respect is not an arrogant act but rather an appreciation for what you have and who you are. When we truly love ourselves, we know how to protect ourselves from negative and unhealthy influences. This includes caring for our physical health as well as nurturing our mind and spirit. Respecting oneself means treating yourself with healthy and conscious actions. This can manifest through maintaining positive habits, avoiding factors that harm your mental and physical health, and learning to set healthy boundaries in relationships. When you respect yourself, you will attract respect from others and create a positive living environment. Self-love is a continuous practice. Practicing self-love is an ongoing and relentless process. The Buddha taught that to achieve enlightenment and peace, we must continually cultivate and practice. Self-love is no different. It is not something that can be attained in a moment but rather a long journey requiring perseverance and effort. We must practice love and compassion for ourselves every day, from the smallest actions like encouraging ourselves to larger acts like forgiving ourselves and others. Just as we practice meditation to achieve mindfulness, self-love needs to be cultivated daily. Each step on this journey helps you become stronger, fresher, and closer to inner peace. Self-love, in the light of the Buddha's teachings, is not selfishness or arrogance. It is compassion, patience, respect, and acceptance of oneself. The Buddha has taught that to love and care for others, we must start with ourselves. Only when we fully love ourselves can we radiate love and compassion outward, creating a world filled with love and peace. Take time each day to love and care for yourself, for you deserve peace and happiness, and the path to achieving this begins with unconditional love for yourself. 2. Why haven't you loved yourself enough? In life, we often feel unworthy of love. This may stem from past mistakes, feelings of failure, or societal pressures that lead us to undervalue ourselves. The reasons we haven't loved ourselves enough are not just external factors, they also arise from a lack of understanding that self-love begins with acceptance and self-forgiveness. According to the teachings of the Buddha, suffering in life arises from attachment to the self, an attachment to misconceptions and self-created images that prevent us from seeing ourselves clearly. In this article, we will explore the reasons why we haven't loved ourselves enough and how to begin the journey of self-love from a deeper perspective based on Buddhist teachings. Attachment to self and suffering, the cause of not loving oneself. One of the fundamental principles in Buddhist teaching is the concept of sakkayaditthi, or self-attachment, which refers to clinging to the self and to misconceptions about ourselves and the world around us. The Buddha pointed out that suffering originates from this attachment, our failure to recognize ourselves as impermanent, changing, and filled with flaws. Instead, we often view ourselves through an idealized lens or, conversely, judge ourselves too harshly. Self-attachment is not merely clinging to concepts about ourselves, it also involves holding on to past mistakes, pains, and failures. When we cannot forgive ourselves, we cannot fully love ourselves. Self-love is hindered by harsh self-judgment, trapping us in a cycle of self-blame and criticism. The Buddha teaches that all things are impermanent, including ourselves. When we cling to an image of a perfect or failed self, we cannot see the reality of life, and thus cannot love ourselves. True self-love can only arise when we let go of attachment to the self and embrace ourselves in all circumstances. Fear and social pressure, barriers to self-love. In modern society, external pressures can be powerful influences on how we perceive and love ourselves. Expectations regarding appearance, success, and perfection make us feel inadequate. The fear of not being worthy, of not meeting the expectations of others or society, often dominates our thoughts and actions. The Buddha pointed out that fear is one of the main causes of suffering. We fear judgment, failure, and the inability to meet societal standards. This fear prevents us from accepting ourselves as we are, making self-love difficult. However, the Buddha also taught that fear cannot lead us to liberation, it only increases suffering. True self-love can only develop when we dare to confront these fears, accepting them as part of our spiritual journey. When we are no longer afraid of others' judgments or failure, we can open our hearts to love ourselves genuinely and freely. Self-forgiveness, the path to self-love. A core element of self-love is forgiving ourselves. The Buddha taught that forgiveness is not only an act towards others but, first and foremost, an act of forgiving oneself. Self-forgiveness is the first step in ending suffering and opening the way for true love. When we make mistakes, we often blame ourselves, feeling guilty and unworthy of love. However, the Buddha teaches that, like all beings, we have the right to be forgiven and to receive love, as we are imperfect. Everyone can make mistakes and learn from them, but it is crucial not to let past errors hinder our ability to live happily in the present. To love ourselves, we need to let go of past mistakes, not allowing them to continue shaping our self-perception. Forgiving ourselves is a way to free ourselves from the burden of regret, thereby opening our minds and hearts to the love we truly deserve. Accepting imperfection, love comes from acceptance. One of the most challenging aspects of self-love is accepting our own imperfections. We live in a society that often glorifies perfection and success, and we can feel like failures when we do not meet these standards. However, the Buddha teaches that imperfection is the nature of life. Everything changes, and nothing lasts forever. Accepting imperfection is the key to liberating ourselves from suffering. When we accept that we are imperfect beings, we will find it easier to love ourselves. Instead of seeking perfection, we should seek growth and improvement. Loving ourselves means accepting who we are in each moment, with all our strengths and weaknesses, and working to become a better version of ourselves every day. Loving oneself to free from suffering. The main reason we haven't loved ourselves enough is that we do not accept ourselves as we are. External factors such as fear, failure, and societal pressure lead us to undervalue ourselves and hesitate to love ourselves fully. However, according to Buddhist teachings, self-love begins with self-forgiveness, letting go of past mistakes, and accepting that we are perfect in our imperfections. Remember, only when you love yourself can you truly live in peace and happiness. The path to self-love is a long journey, but it begins with small steps. The first step is to accept yourself and forgive past mistakes. 3. The Buddha's teachings on love and compassion. Love and compassion are two central concepts in the Buddha's teachings, and they relate not only to how we treat others but also to how we treat ourselves. Love and compassion are not temporary emotions or conditional feelings, they are profound, spiritual qualities that require practice. According to the Buddha, true love is a state of mind that is free from discrimination or conditions, characterized only by unconditional love, tolerance, and kindness. Love and compassion according to the Buddha. The Buddha taught, if you love others as you love yourself, you will achieve peace. This is one of his most important teachings on love. The Buddha not only encourages us to love and help others but also emphasizes that love begins with oneself. Self-love is not selfish or self-satisfied, it is sincere love that arises from understanding and respecting oneself, as well as accepting oneself in all circumstances. The love described by the Buddha is not merely an affectionate feeling, it is a state of compassion. Compassion, karuna, in Buddhism is unconditional love, a sharing and understanding of the suffering of others. However, to practice compassion for others, we must first learn to practice compassion for ourselves. We cannot help others if we do not know how to care for and love ourselves. Compassion, loving yourself and others. One of the unique points in the Buddha's teachings is that love must be unconditional. He taught that love is not a transaction, nor is it a condition for receiving something in return. Love is an action that springs from compassion, from the awareness that all beings have value and deserve to be loved. Genuine love is love that expects nothing in return, that does not judge, and that does not discriminate. We cannot love others if we do not love ourselves. When the Buddha said, if you love others as you love yourself, he was referring not only to love for family and friends but also to self-love. To truly love others, we must start by loving and respecting ourselves. Self-love is not self-satisfaction, it is accepting oneself in imperfection. When we love ourselves, we do not harbor negative thoughts or self-criticism, instead, we cultivate understanding and forgiveness. Compassion must be directed not only toward others but also toward ourselves. If we love ourselves unconditionally, without judgment and without allowing past failures or mistakes to hinder our growth, then we can also love others without expecting anything in return. We do not need to be perfect to love ourselves, nor do we need to be perfect to love others. Authentic compassion begins with the understanding that we are all human, we all have weaknesses, and we all deserve love. Practicing compassion, treating yourself like a true friend. To practice compassion for ourselves, the Buddha advises us to treat ourselves like a true friend. When we treat ourselves like a friend, we do not judge or criticize ourselves when we encounter failure. Instead, we understand and empathize with ourselves, just like we would with a close friend. When you make a mistake or face difficulty, instead of blaming yourself, remind yourself that everyone has moments of weakness, and this is an opportunity to learn and grow. The Buddha taught that self-compassion is about embracing and forgiving ourselves, while not allowing past mistakes to overshadow our path forward. We cannot change the past, but we can change how we perceive and treat ourselves in the present. When you treat yourself with compassion, you will feel inner peace because you have accepted yourself and no longer judge or blame yourself. Non-judgment, the key to practicing compassion. One of the most important factors in practicing compassion is non-judgment. The Buddha taught that judgment harms not only others but also ourselves. When we judge ourselves, we sever our connection with ourselves, and when we judge others, we create a distance between ourselves and them. Non-judgment does not mean a lack of awareness, rather, it is awareness unclouded by negative and unfair thoughts. To love and practice compassion, we must learn to view all things, situations, and people without the lens of judgment or prejudice. When we do not judge, we can accept everything in life calmly, without fear or anxiety. Compassion flourishes when we no longer feel the need to judge or change others. Compassion in daily life. Practicing compassion is not just a theory, it is a daily practice in life. You can start with small actions, such as speaking kindly to yourself, forgiving past mistakes, and showing patience toward yourself in difficult times. Love and compassion must be practiced in real-life situations, from how you treat yourself during hardships to how you treat those around you. The Buddha teaches that each day is an opportunity to practice compassion and love, from simple acts like helping a friend, listening to someone in need, to deeper actions like understanding and assisting those facing difficulties in life. Compassion is the expansion of our hearts and minds toward all beings, including ourselves. Love and compassion as the path to peace. The Buddha pointed out that love and compassion are the paths to peace and enlightenment. Love must begin with ourselves, and from there, it radiates outward. Compassion should not only be directed to others but must also be directed toward ourselves, for only when we love and care for ourselves can we genuinely love and care for others. Practice compassion, treat yourself like a true friend, and you will find peace within your soul. 4. How to start loving yourself today. Self-love starts with small steps. Loving yourself doesn't have to involve grand changes or monumental actions. Sometimes, small daily steps can profoundly impact your self-perception. The Buddha taught that every small action brings peace and happiness. This is also true when it comes to self-love. The journey of loving yourself begins with simple things you do every day, and every small step is a valuable progress. Each morning, take a moment to look in the mirror and remind yourself that you deserve love and happiness. These reminders don't have to be grand, but they will help you build a solid foundation of confidence and self-respect. When you look at yourself in the mirror, don't just see your flaws or shortcomings, instead, see a valuable person worthy of love and care, just like you give to your loved ones. The Buddha teaches that love is a practice, an action that starts from the heart. Therefore, each day, practice doing good things for yourself. For example, take time to breathe deeply, relax, and feel your body and mind in a state of peace. These moments help reconnect you with yourself and nurture your self-love. Practice gratitude every day. One of the most powerful ways to love yourself is through gratitude. Gratitude is a potent spiritual practice in Buddhist teachings. It helps us focus on the good in life rather than on deficiencies or hardships. When you start each day with gratitude, you will feel appreciation for what you have, a healthy body, a clear mind, and loving people around you. The Buddha taught that gratitude is how we nourish our souls and open our hearts to love and happiness. Begin each new day by being grateful to yourself. Look at your body, feel the life in each breath, and remind yourself that you deserve love and care. Every night before you sleep, take a few minutes to ask yourself, what do I have to be grateful for today? This could be something simple like enjoying a good meal, having a pleasant conversation with a loved one, or simply having a moment of relaxation during the day. Gratitude is not only about recognizing the big things but also about appreciating the smallest, simplest aspects of life. This will help you develop a positive attitude and love yourself more. Self-acceptance and practicing compassion towards yourself. Self-acceptance is a crucial part of loving yourself. The Buddha taught that to truly love, we must start with accepting ourselves, acknowledging all our weaknesses and shortcomings, failures and successes, and both good and imperfect aspects. When you accept yourself, you no longer feel inferior or ashamed of your flaws. Instead, you see that you deserve love not because you are perfect, but because you are who you are. Self-acceptance does not mean we stop improving ourselves. On the contrary, accepting yourself is the first step to change and growth. If you cannot accept yourself, it will be hard to love yourself or change positively. By practicing compassion toward yourself, you can face life's difficulties and challenges calmly, without judgment or self-blame. To begin self-acceptance, treat yourself as you would your closest friend. You would never criticize or judge your friend during difficult times. Instead, you would comfort and encourage them, helping them rise from failure. Treat yourself with love and patience, just as you would with your loved ones. Small steps every day, perseverance and patience. Loving yourself is a process, and like any developmental journey, it requires perseverance and patience. Don't expect immediate, grand changes because self-love is a long journey. Small daily steps, small changes in your thoughts and actions, will accumulate and lead to significant transformation in your soul. A simple way to maintain perseverance in this journey is to practice every day. Start each day with reminders of your worth and take a moment to feel gratitude. Don't force yourself to be perfect, instead, focus on making progress each day, even if it's just a small step. The Buddha taught that a small step taken with a calm mind is more precious than 1,000 long steps taken without awareness. Open your heart to receive love from the world around you. When you begin to love yourself, you naturally open your heart to receive love from others. You will feel connected to those around you, and that's when you start to experience true peace in life. By loving yourself, you not only create tranquility within but also make space to love and share with others. The Buddha taught that genuine love begins with loving oneself, and from there, you can love all beings without discrimination. Opening your heart to give and receive love is the path that leads us to true peace. Self-love is a journey of self-discovery. Loving yourself is not a goal to be reached but an ongoing journey. Each day is an opportunity to practice love, gratitude, and acceptance, starting with small steps. When you begin to love yourself, you will not only change yourself but also change how you perceive the world around you. Start today, with the smallest actions, and you will feel the peace and happiness that the Buddha taught. 5. Self-love helps you find true happiness. Self-love, the foundation of true happiness. When you start to love yourself, your life will gradually change in a wonderful way. Happiness is no longer something you seek externally. Instead, you will realize that true happiness comes from within. Self-love is the key to unlocking a life filled with peace, freedom, and joy. When you can face yourself without feelings of inferiority or lack, you will find true freedom from within, allowing you to experience tranquility in your soul. According to the Buddha, happiness is not something outside of you, it is a state of mind, an inner peace. When you love yourself, you are building a solid foundation to receive all the good things in life. You will no longer depend on the acceptance or recognition of others, instead, you will feel fulfillment and happiness from within. This is the true happiness that the Buddha taught, a happiness not reliant on external conditions, but the peace that comes from within the heart. From inner peace to happiness and meaning in life. As you begin to love yourself, you will notice that your life becomes more peaceful. No longer will there be anxieties or feelings of insecurity regarding your self-worth or feelings of deficiency. Self-love brings you acceptance, inner peace, and the strength to face life's challenges. As the Buddha said, when you love yourself, you will naturally be able to love everyone. This love knows no boundaries and makes no distinctions. When you find peace within your soul, you will spread that peace to the world around you. Loving yourself allows you to understand that you can bring positive values to this world through small but meaningful actions. When you live in love and acceptance, you will feel a life full of meaning. You will begin to see the wonderful things in life, even in challenges or difficulties. Because when you love yourself, you are not afraid of failure, you are not afraid of being hurt, and you no longer worry about not being loved. You live with a free spirit and patience, embracing everything with an open heart. Spreading love and peace to the world. Once you love yourself, that love will naturally extend outward. You will find that when you give love and care to yourself, you also share that love with those around you. They will feel the peace and joy you bring, and they too will feel loved and safe in your presence. The Buddha taught, love begins with yourself, and when you love yourself, you will be able to love this world unconditionally. Compassion and love not only help you find peace in your personal life but also help create a better world. When you love yourself, you contribute to building a society filled with love, empathy, and sharing. Self-love is the path to happiness and peace. True happiness is not something to be found out there, it is the discovery and experience within your own soul. When you love yourself, you will be able to live a meaningful, peaceful, and joyful life. The Buddha teaches that inner peace is the result of self-love, and when you can love yourself sincerely and unconditionally, you will extend that love to everyone and the world around you. So, don't wait for the perfect moment to love yourself. Start today by loving yourself as you deserve to be loved, and you will notice a miraculous change in your life. Let this love spread and become a source of positive energy, helping you and those around you to live in peace, happiness, and unconditional love. Love yourself right now, for self-love is the foundation of true happiness. Don't wait, start your journey of self-love today. If you find this video meaningful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your loved ones. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Wishing you always full of love and peace.